Lord Vader, rise. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Guys, today I wanted to talk a little bit about what I thought the new requirements were going to be for Lord Vader. It's fun to speculate. Of course, it's already kind of just built in to whatever they're doing, so my speculation isn't going to do much for us. But I wouldn't advise you guys just jumping in and doing everything. I'm not necessarily advising this, but it's fun to see. We'll see how accurate this can be. So, we already have the first set of requirements, and I like that they added Tusken Raider right away, because that's one that none of us sane people really have finished, and now, well, had finished. Some sane people haven't finished now. Some people who like themselves, who like things, who like nice things. So, anyways, Tusken Raider is finished, and I don't know. The one thing that I've always disliked about these big requirements is now there's no incentive for CG to ever actually like remake or rework Tusken Raider. Like they just don't have to, because they forced us to put gear on him anyways. We've had to put a ton of resources into him, and he sucks. He's horrible. Like, they're gonna keep doing that, and my predictions actually keep with that theme a little bit at least. But anyways, we've got Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, and these guys are tangentially related to him. Obviously, these guys are all already announced, so it's not a big deal. But Padme, Relic 8, yay! Maybe it'll turn her into midriff Padme. I think that's probably a lie. All right, guys. So the next batch of them, though, here's my predictions, and I don't know, I will be very surprised if we don't get at least a few of these. So there's always like one overlap character, and that's going to be Dooku. But first, let's talk about Rex here, guys. Rex is captain of the 501st. That's Anakin's own clone battalion or army, whatever it is. He's in charge of it, and he is incredibly important to Anakin. Anakin, if anything, guys, I feel like Anakin is big about relationships. And, I mean, obviously he had like a pretend, it's not, these are words that don't apply. He had a secret one with Padme, and, you know, he is fiercely loyal to the people who he's friends with. And I don't know, Rex, it would hard to be more important than Rex. That's all I can say. Like, Rex seems like an obvious choice. If he's not in there, I don't know. It's like I'll have to stop believing in food or something like that. Just kidding. I'll always believe in food. So, next is Ahsoka. So people are going to be asking, ooh, is Cat required? And they might require Cat. I hope not, but they could. I mean, she's kind of closer to Anakin's fall than the Padawan version of Ahsoka. But I mean, the argument is are they really going to require a character that they can't monetize? Because they can't monetize Cat, really. Like, they can have people spend some money on it, but they can't, like a whale who missed the boat on all of his conquest and stuff. They're not going to be able to just spend a bunch and get all those shards. I think this version Snips is going to be more like that, more realistic. Now, the only problem with this is it doesn't really fit with the model of making us pay as much as we can or whatever. Like, we're not going to get Fulcrum. I'm pretty convinced of that. We're not going to have to pay for Fulcrum, but will it be Snips or Cat? I think Snips gets the tiebreaker, but don't be too surprised with Cat. People are going to be like, well, yeah, I even just said it. People like me are going to say, well, you can't buy it, can't monetize it. The thing is, guys, they did that with Jedi Knight Luke already, so they set the precedent. So they easily could do something like that. I would be very interested to know if they think that hurt them or not to require Jedi Knight Luke for Jedi Master Luke. But one way or another, I think it's going to be Snips. Next is Barriss, and I kind of wish we had a dark side version of Barriss. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys in Clone Wars, but it's been out for literally like a decade or something like that. And if you haven't seen it already, then just go watch it. Stop not watching it. I mean, or just don't watch it. You're good. Also, don't mod your Barriss like mine. You don't want a Barriss that's embarrassing like mine. So the thing is, guys, in the Clone Wars, we don't know what ends up happening with Barriss, but she turns to the dark side. Like, she has a big fight with Anakin, and it undermines him. Like, this is pretty close to the end. This is part of the events that made Ahsoka leave the Jedi Order and made, I mean, an Anakin. That was a huge, this whole event of Ahsoka being framed and no one trusting each other, and Barriss turning to the dark side, and it just undermines his confidence in the Jedi. And I think that Barriss could easily be one, and I know that a lot of people might have her geared, but there's a ton of people who don't. Frankly, she's a pretty luxury character. Like, my alt will probably never have her geared, and my main doesn't even have enough resources to support her, as is evidenced by her horrible mods. So I think it's going to be Barriss, even though that's a light side version. Now, Count Dooku. The thing is, guys, I think they're sending a message with Tusken Raider. I think they want to show us, like, help us through all the different steps he takes to become a dark side user, a Darth, a Lord of the Sith, a Lord of whining, more like. But I think Dooku was instrumental in that. Like, Anakin murdered him in cold blood, kind of. Honestly, I don't know if you can call it cold blood, frankly. Like, they're in the middle of a fight. Like, what is he gonna do? Dooku's still dangerous, even without hands. And the Chancellor of the Galactic Republic just told him to kill him. Like, I don't know. He could have said no, but would anyone blame him for just killing the general? Especially if you watch the Clone Wars. Like, Separatists just escape all the time. They escape jail. They get captured and then they get escaped. It's like a revolving door. So you put Dooku in there, how long is he gonna really last? Like, maybe just take things in your own hand and kill him, and just don't turn to the dark side after that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bad person, but I do think that one way or another, Dooku, Anakin did see it as like a murder. He didn't think that it was okay that he did that, but he did it all the same, and that was another step toward the dark side. So I think that was part of it, and we always get one overlap character, like I mentioned before. There's always one character that we have to unlock that we use for the same thing. Like Jedi Training Rey is used in 2 different characters, for example, and a few other ones as well. We don't need to get into it. You guys can go fact check me, but I think Dooku is going to be our overlap character here. Well, maybe. We'll see. I actually put 2 overlaps, so maybe I'm sure I'm wrong about one of them. Now, Newt, this is basically, I don't know. So Newt is the guy who kind of perpetrated the whole, like, he's kind of the one who found, in a weird way, he's the guy who found Vader. He found Anakin because he's the one who chased the people off of Naboo after attacking them, and then they went to Tatooine, they found Anakin, etc. And then it comes full circle where Anakin has become a Sith Lord and he kills Newt. And so I think that there's a possibility that we kind of relive that fight, because we're not going to see younglings being slaughtered. That's not really in the cards. But I think we're going to see, I bet one of our levels actually is fighting Separatists. Like, we'll have to fight Newt and Watt and, I don't know, like Poggle, and I don't know what other characters we could, like, they could throw in a few extra random ones that we don't know about. So I do think that maybe we'll have Newt in here. He seems more important to the whole plot than, like, Poggle. That being said, Poggle, not a lot of people have Poggle at Relics, so I would not be surprised to see Poggle here at all. Maybe Poggle in place of Dooku. I just think Dooku's important. Like, that's almost the time, like Anakin, that's almost when he stepped over the threshold and he didn't realize it. Maybe like kind of stepped back a little bit, but like, I don't know, Dooku seems really important. So that's my next batch. And then the final batch, all right, so there's usually a ship, and I actually think that's possible we don't get a ship requirement this time, because the ship one is always just a joke anyways, right? Like, who cares? Who cares about like a 5-star ship? Everyone's got the 5-star ship. So maybe we'll just forego that. That being said, flying is incredibly important to the lore of Anakin, and I think maybe it would be foolish of them not to. So the fifth the fifth splot, dear Lord, not usually a splot, usually he survives, but I think it's going to be his personal starfighter. I mean, you could say it's malevolence, you could say anything. I'd like to say executor, but I don't think it's going to be that, because executor is, or executor, whatever. I've been convinced, actually. I think it is executor, unfortunately, but contrary to what I believed as a child and learned as a child, I think it's executor instead of executor. But I don't. That's in his future, and I think we're going to be going through his past and things that are important to his past. So I don't think it's going to be that one. Maybe it could be something like executrix, though, something like that. I mean, he did have dealings with Tarkin and stuff. So that would be possible. Maybe it's the Endurance. That's a Republic frigate or whatever, destroyer. So, all right, CG has already said General Skywalker is one of them. So we have that one. Now, beyond that, though, who are the other ones that he's had dealings with? Now, Jedi Knight Guardian is, in my opinion, that we're gonna get some bad Jedi Master or Jedi level character. I don't think it's gonna be Ki-Adi-Mundi. Ki-Adi-Mundi is still just too hard to get. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll require a Ki-Adi-Mundi. People will have had several months more to unlock him, but again, it's the monetization thing. And this isn't even me being cynical exactly. Like, why would CG, though, like, just pigeonhole themselves to only having people from top-end guilds having Lord Vader? Like, it doesn't necessarily, like, make a lot of sense unless they're going to make Cam purchasable. Like, they have let people buy some Cam shards, I guess, but I think that they want new players to be able to potentially, like, oh, yeah, okay, so I'll get General Skywalker, and then I'll unlock Vader, Lord Vader. So I think we're going to get something like, okay, he marches on the temple and kills Jedi Knight Guardians because they're in the temple and they're guarding the temple, and and then eventually they die. And gosh, so Newt doesn't have a nose. She has extra ears, though. Wow. Did not. This is like a Tolkien crossover. We've got like elves. I noticed her ears one time, I think, but wow. Okay, we gotta stop staring. It's rude. But she's gonna die anyways if she's in the temple, so who cares? But gosh, derailment. I think it could be this one. It could be like I hope it's Jedi Consular, because then we can use his ship more. But I think no one has Jedi Knight Guardian done. Like, let's fight Jedi Knight Guardian. Now, I thought about maybe like Shock T, because actually it would be kind of cool if we used if there was Shock T, because there's actually a deleted scene in Revenge of the Sith where Shock T's just like hanging out there, and she knows that Anakin is there, and she just like sits there, and Anakin just like walks up and like lightsabers her to death. And it's this really dumb scene, and I'm like, gosh, I hate Shock T so much now. It's so stupid. She just like lays down for it. But I think maybe it could be Shock T, but we already had her as a requirement for something else. Guardian seems pretty people are gonna have to spend some money to get her, or spend gear, expend resources. So I think it'll be Guardian. Maybe it'll be Consular. He's not widely geared either. Asajj. Now, he fights Asajj quite a bit. Like, he starts the Clone Wars off with a pretty epic fight with Asajj. I think it's... Or is it... I forget if he fights her. He's in the same battle. And at least Kenobi fights her. But they do fight quite a bit. They have a lot of interactions. And You know, she's a dark sider. She's angry, obviously, but I think she was somewhat important to Anakin anyways. Like they did have some pretty epic fights, and I think we need one more storyline character. So it could be Asajj. It easily could be Asajj. Now, you know, Sidious, Emperor Palpatine, they've both been required, and this guy's already Relic 7. So I don't know. This is maybe the stretch one, guys. This or Dooku. I think Dooku, like I keep saying, I think he's important to the Anakin storyline. Sidious, you know, like he's the one. He's the one who talked Anakin into joining the dark side in the first place. Like, unless we get like a Chancellor Palpatine or something, some kind of character like that, I think we're just going to like who's most important to his storyline and turning him to the dark side. Like Palpatine's there. He's the one who really made the whole thing happen. Like it would almost be a travesty if they didn't add him. Now, I guess maybe we could do something weird, like instead of Sidious, we could do like the Jedi who were part of the Sidious fight. You know, the fight where Anakin turned to the dark side. Like maybe we have to gear Kit Fisto or something. Like he would be another good one for that. Good, but anyways, you know, we could have like ARC Trooper because he likes clones and they're part of the 501st. We could have all sorts of things, guys. But at the end of the day, these have been my predictions. Like, will we have Omega be required? Maybe. You know, people who say like, oh, well, they never met. And you know, we don't know that they met, that they didn't meet or not. But they probably didn't. Like, almost certainly didn't. And if they did, it was just like they saw each other and glanced away because they're just totally different walks of life. And why does Skywalker care? But I will say this, guys. Like, Jedi Master Luke is also in no real way related to Chupio. Like, Chupio is they didn't see each other in the movie. Like, they were in the same building as each other once. And I'm sure that Anakin, Lord Vader, whatever, was in the same building as like, or city, general vicinity. Like, he was on Camino a few times. Like, he could have been around Omega. And once again, I know that maybe it's just me being cynical, but CG does just generally make us gear characters that have been marquee recently, and Omega wouldn't be that much of a stretch. She was still alive during when all these events happened. She was part of things, even if it wasn't part of his things. So that being said, folks, let me know what you think in the video. Don't get into the video description because that means you've hacked me. But please tell me in the comments what you think. Who are going to be the requirements? Am I just totally off base here? I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Please let me know. Also, please hit that like button if you would, please. Just a reminder, trying to scratch the algorithm, trying to mount it, and if we can get on it and ride it long enough, maybe we start getting some real traction here, guys. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zereth prevails. Have a good one, folks.